Hello, I'm Simon Hall, Industry Analyst at CCW Europe, and we're backstage at the CCW UK Summit, where we're diving into all things customer management, customer care, and customer experience. I'm delighted to be joined here by Tiggy Thompson, Head of Supporter Experience at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Tiggy, thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. It's been a really interesting day for me, so yeah, I'm learning lots.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm very excited to have this conversation. So you've been at Tottenham for nearly 5 years now, but before we dive into the work that you're doing today, I'd love to just get a sense of your professional background and some of the stepping stones you walked on to get to where you are now.
So my journey started in the contact centre at Ticketmaster when I was doing my gap year before starting university. From there, I went into uni and sort of left the workplace behind and decided actually I wanted to go back into the workplace and not finish my degree. Mm-hmm. But for me, I went back to Ticketmaster, worked there as an account manager, and then 15 years later was headhunted for this position to start up the customer care team at Tottenham.
Fantastic stuff. And one of the core aspects of your role is managing the contact centre and dealing with support inquiries across a range of functions, everything from ticketing to membership to retail to matchday support. So just talk to us about what that operation looks like on a daily basis. How many channels are you managing? How much volume are you dealing with?
It varies. Day to day, everything could change. So every day doesn't look the same. Every hour doesn't look the same. On any one time, I can be dealing with everything from, like you said, the ticketing aspect for a game. So we have a game tonight. So we've been dealing with that. We have renewals going on at the same time. So it'll be for our season ticket holders who will be renewing for the next season. Alongside that, we'll also be dealing with retail. So we also manage in-house retail customer service. We have visitor attractions, Formula One. So every day, it's the whole business. So the Tottenham brand, the Tottenham Football Club, has multiple businesses under the one big business umbrella. Mm-hmm. And we deal with all of those. And it could be from emails, chats, to phones. Mm-hmm. And a day like today, we can have thousands of contacts coming in to the club. And that's all managed by my in-house team of customer care agents.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the longer-term strategies and shorter-term engagement tactics that you are tapping into to sort of personalise your interactions with supporters and provide them with the best fan experience possible?
The long-term strategy is to understand the 360 of our customer, who they are, where they're coming from, how they've engaged with us to that point, whether they've purchased a ticket for a game, whether they bought a shirt from the shop, or whether they've come to an attraction. We need to know who you are, and so we can engage with you a little bit better. That's our long-term strategy. Our short-term, and what I plan to do is we've just launched our Spurs app. And the app, when you first go in to use the app, you have to sign in or register if you haven't, so we can understand who you are. And the more people we have downloading and engaging with the app, the more we will then understand the fan base. And so once they're inside the app and they start using it, if they were to contact us for a chat function, we then know who you are. And that's what I want to kind of tap into, is that personalised experience.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And pivoting now onto the experience of your agents, and I have two questions on this subject. Yeah. One, what kind of attributes do you look for in the ideal candidate for such role? And then two, what work are you doing to promote your agents' levels of job satisfaction and well-being?
We have what we call the Spurs way. So when we recruit individuals, we're looking for them to with the values, the core club values. So it's dare, respect, and drive. So we dare them to challenge the status quo. Don't ever accept anything for what it is. Always challenge it. You can challenge it up, challenge it across. Always be curious and respect your peers, respect each other. At the end of the day, we see each other as family. It's one of our own, is the motto of the club. Just keep driving for excellence. And that's what we want to keep pushing for. We like to also promote growth. So, we'll give them the tools. We'll let them be sort of the owner of their own personal growth. We work on a levelling structure within the contact centre. So they'll come in as a starter and then they'll go to level 1, level 2, and then become a team leader. What does that journey look like? And we give them sort of ownership of their own QA. So they'll work with their supervisor and their manager to develop their own personal self, and I think that just lets them have that sort of personal growth as well. And we do lots of other things at the club, like health and well-being benefits, that sort of taps into the values of looking after our own.
And can you dive into the role that technology is playing in your contact centre right now? What tools are your agents leveraging to deliver exceptional supporter care?
We have email, live chat, as well as automated chat and phones. So currently they're the 3 systems that we have. We're looking at sort of bringing them together. I know everyone floats the omni-channel, and that's something we would love to be able to bring in as well. And that is our sort of aim, to get to the omni-channel platform. But yeah, that's currently all we have.
And in terms of metrics, there's obviously a lot of debate around sort of the best metrics to use in the contact centre. And of course, it will vary depending on the business and its model. But what, for you, are the biggest drivers of great supporter experience?
For us, it depends on who we're sort of engaging with. If we're talking supporters, there's a lot of fan sentiment there, the emotional sentiment, which you can't cover with a CSAT, unfortunately, because it's if we're not doing so well, or if they've contacted us for something and we simply have to say no, you're not going to get the best customer satisfaction score, because they're just not going to be satisfied with what they're getting as an answer. So for those, we usually use first contact resolution metrics and first response times, and that's sort of our industry standards of what we set across the board. But we do have retail and visitor attractions where it is more about the experience, because that's so individual. So yeah, we do use CSATs for those, and we also have an NPS score we use for VA, visitor attractions, and yeah, we do a lot of customer experience surveys as well. So we like to touch base with our fans post-match, as well as post-experience, just to see, what they thought of their actual experience while they were there on the day as well. And yeah, we do quite a lot of different things to keep on top of.
Yeah, that's right. So many different things, so many different metrics, so many business units, right?
Exactly.
And another core pillar of the work that you do is reviewing sort of recurring complaint drivers and then passing that feedback on to department heads to process. So against that framework, can you share some best practices around cross-organisational collaboration in what is such a large-scale operation?
Communication is key, really, for us. It's we have a lot of meetings, internal meetings across the board with the management, and it's like you just said, it's the collaboration that we have. I am always involved across all the different business areas, and I work very closely with all the key business owners as well. And we have seasonal products, things like our kit launch or our renewals processes that we will work very closely with the individuals in that business area. So ticket office membership or retail, we are always feeding back, and it's everything from, like I said, the customer experience surveys, and some of the other areas would be secret shoppers. We would have come in, we would feed back from the secret shopper findings, and then we'll just have continuous meetings and conversations. So yeah,
that's great. And last question for you then, Tiggy. In general terms, what are some of the biggest trends that you see coming to the fore in the customer experience or supporter experience world over the next 12 months or so?
12 months, I think generative AI is like being the hot topic right now. Everyone is talking about it. I'm still on the fence. I've had lots of meetings and conversations, again, because of the nature of the business for us. The sentiment, it's the emotional sentiment. I think that's where the hesitation comes in from a lot of other people that I've spoken to. It's that emotional piece. You can sell them a product using generative AI, but can you deal with the outcome of if anything's to go wrong? How can they engage in the emotional sense? Because let's face it, everything's quite emotional if you don't get the right sofa or the right seat for your game.
Tiggy, thank you. Great insights. Really appreciate you joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So that brings to a close this conversation. But if you're interested in learning more about some of the themes we've covered today, please do check out the CCW Europe website and social media channels. Thank you so much again to Tiggy for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, goodbye.